everyone, welcome back to the Davis Family Channel. Today I'm going to talk about some amazing hacks that are going to change your life as a new mom and make your life so much easier. I hope you guys find this useful. Please subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. Without further ado, let's go through some hacks. So my first tip as a new mom, this is going to be very early on. My biggest, advice for you is to sleep in the hospital that first night. My lactation consultant told me after I complained about this to her that you can tell your nurses to not bother you that first night that you have with your baby. Tell them not to disturb you unless it's absolutely necessary. I can't even begin to explain how many times the nurses came in. They woke me up to give me an Advil when I was fast asleep. They came in, woke the baby up, and gave her a beanie with a bow on it instead of the plain beanie, which I preferred the plain beanie anyways. And it was just so obnoxious. It's like anytime I would fall asleep finally, despite all the cluster feeding and non-stop snuggling with my baby, they would come in and they would do something that was totally unnecessary. So my number one tip is to get as much rest as you can that first night in the hospital. I know you're going to be feeding your baby a lot, but in between, get as much sleep as you can, because nobody tells you about that second night when they've adjusted to not being in the womb anymore and they are wide awake, baby. You're gonna think to yourself, man, I don't think I can do this on that second night. So please soak in all the sleep you can on that first night, because it's gonna be a huge reality check that second night when you get home from the hospital. It is like a nightmare. It's intense. So get as much sleep as you can that first night and you will thank yourself. My next hack, this saved my life. This is one of my favorite hacks personally. It is, especially if your baby is having a hard time in their own bassinet, get a cheap heating pad from Amazon or Target and put it in their bassinet before you put them in it. So about 10 minutes before you lay them down, put it on low or medium, put it in their bassinet, make sure you take it out, but it's gonna create a warm, womb-like environment for them. This is a game changer. Another thing that you can do on top of this is put in your bed sheet before you wash it, or a shirt that you wore that day, and that will also make them feel more comfortable because it's going to have your smell now. So think about it. Your baby is so used to being in your womb, warm, smelling you, and then they just come to this cold outside world and everything is new. So between the heating pad, warming up their bassinet, and your scent being in it, it's going to help them sleep a lot better. They're going to feel a lot more comfortable and a lot more secure. My third newborn tip, hack, whatever you want to call it, is to download tracking apps. So my favorite for tracking dirty diapers and how much sleep when they're napping is Huckberry. So basically it's like a little diary, and you put in the time and everything of their naps and dirty diapers and all that stuff. And what's great about that is when you go to their doctor's appointments, they're going to ask you, how many diapers a day are you changing? How often are they sleeping? How often are they eating? And, when you're kind of in the mix of it all, you're like, well, I don't know, a normal amount, a lot. They've pooped a lot today. But no, in all seriousness, they're going to ask you, and you're not going to remember unless you're tracking it. And it's also really useful so you can kind of see, of course, every day is kind of different with a newborn, but you can kind of see a schedule and what their kind of typical day looks like, so you know what to keep in mind. I found it really useful. Another app that I've been loving is Wonder Weeks. I didn't know about leaps, but they're basically these huge developmental milestones for a baby, where they will learn a new skill, but it can cause them to be really fussy. So Wonder Weeks actually sends you a notification when they're about to go through a new leap, and it really explains, why they might suddenly stop sleeping as good, or why they might be more fussy in general. I love Wonder Weeks, and it also goes through what are the different developments for that week. So I would definitely check out Wonder Weeks. It's been really helpful for me. And it's also just really exciting to look forward to oh, next week she's going to start rolling over. Next week she's going to start smiling or laughing. It's really fun. So Wonder Weeks, Huckberry, get them. You're going to love them. My next hack is to just skip all the unnecessary baby products and buy coconut oil. It has taken the place of an all-purpose balm, a lotion, and a diaper cream are the main things for me. Also, it helped with cradle cap. She had it in her eyebrows, put coconut oil on it. Diaper rash, put coconut oil on it. Dry skin, coconut oil. It's great because it's not toxic. You know the ingredients. It's just coconut oil, and you can save a lot of money by not buying all those other unnecessary things. Coconut oil, it's actually sitting right here next to me. I love it. I use it for everything. My friend, who's not even a mom but loves like mom bloggers, told me about it, and I'm so glad she did because it's amazing. It just fixes everything. It's the magical cure. So get some coconut oil and you are set. My next hack is getting a swaddle. I think this is kind of, everybody knows about this, but I just wanted to share my favorite type, which is the Love to Dream swaddle. I tried like 4 different swaddles, and all of them just kind of made her more mad. They didn't really do anything for us, and the thing about the Love to Dream is that their hands are up like this, which is like a very natural baby position when they're in the womb, to have their hands next to their head. And the reason is because they suck on their hands to self-soothe. So the Love to Dream was great because when she would wake up, she still was bundled up tight. She couldn't have that reflex where her hands or her legs kind of kick up in the air. But she could suck on her hands if she would wake up. And this is probably the reason why in my product regrets video, which I made a couple days ago, go ahead and watch that if you haven't already, why I talked about why she doesn't use pacifiers. And I think it's because she learned to self-soothe at a very young age because of the Love to Dream swaddle. So if you are stuck and you're like, man, none of these swaddles are really doing it for us, or she's not sleeping good, I would definitely check out Love to Dream swaddles. They are amazing, and they definitely contributed to better night's sleep for my baby. My next tip as a new mom is to leave the house. Get out of the house. And I don't mean go shopping with your baby or something crazy. I mean take a walk. Get outside, get fresh air. Those first few weeks, months, it's like every day feels the same. You're in the house all the time, changing diapers, feeding your baby, and it can really take a toll on your mental health. Not that it is like a sad thing or that it sucks, but it's just like, it's exhausting. And I found that getting out and just going for a walk around the neighborhood or standing outside on the balcony even for 2 minutes a day was so beneficial for me. And the other thing is that it taught my baby the difference between night and day. Obviously they'll learn regardless, but it really helped accelerate that process. So definitely get outside, get some fresh air. You'll feel so much better after you do, and your baby will love it. There's so much to look at outside, and they like that fresh air too. So I would definitely recommend getting out of your house and breathing in the fresh air. My next hack is to learn how to breastfeed laying down. If you are breastfeeding, you know that around the clock your baby's going to want to be on your boob, and it's exhausting, and you never get any sleep those first few weeks especially. The biggest thing that helped me was to learn how to breastfeed laying on my side in bed. So in the middle of the night when she would eat, rather than me having to sit up or sit in a chair, I would lay on my side and put her on my boob like that. So she was still laying down, she would fall asleep really fast, and I could just close my eyes, not fall asleep, but just close my eyes and still be kind of resting, in a resting state. There's a ton of different positions that are kind of more restful for the mom. I would highly recommend looking them up. There's probably 3 or 4. And I found this really helpful. It was like, I almost feel like I was able to stay awake better than breastfeeding her while I was like sitting against the pillow, just sitting up. I don't know why that made me so sleepy, but I think I was a lot more conscious when I would be like side laying that, she was right there. So I would highly recommend this. Even during the day, it's amazing because you feel like you're getting like a little just rest for a few minutes. So definitely learn how to breastfeed laying on your side. My next hack is to get a baby windy. I talked about this in my newborn favorites video. This thing is amazing at getting gas out of a fussy baby. You don't want to use it all the time, but if you notice that your baby is particularly fussy and none of the other like bicycle kicks or belly massage are working, Baby Wendy will save the day. I was horrified to use it at first. Just the thought of like sticking something up her butt was like horrifying, but I used it the first time, and it is like something I always go to now if she's really fussy and I just know she has gas, she needs to get out, her belly will get all big and hard. Be cautious when you're using it, like put a diaper underneath their booty if you know what I'm saying. But definitely try out the Baby Windies, especially if your baby is super gassy. Gas drops never worked for us. My next tip is to get a Formula Dispenser. Dr. Brown's has my favorite one. It's just 3 little sections where you can measure out formula. If you are feeding your baby formula, you know that nighttime feeds are a struggle sometimes. So this is great because I measure out the portions, and then all you have to do is dump it into the bottle of water. So I bring up, since we have 2 stories, our bedroom is on the 2nd floor, I bring up pre-measured bottles with the water, and then I can just dump the formula in pre-measured. It's great. I highly recommend getting them. They're only like $3 at Target, and I love them so much. Don't know what I would do without them. My last tip is to get a lingerie bag for washing baby socks. They are so tiny, and you will lose one of every sock, and you will never have a matching pair of socks. I don't know why I didn't just do this from the beginning or think about how easy baby socks would get lost, because hello, adult socks get lost all the time and they're much larger. So definitely get a lingerie bag for socks, and it will save your life. When you're doing laundry, you won't have a million mismatched tiny 1-inch socks. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed and found some useful tips that you can use for your baby. Be sure to subscribe down below. There's going to be a lot of amazing content coming out in the next couple of weeks. Share your favorite hacks with me down below. I'd love to hear them, as well as anybody else watching this video. I'm sure they will benefit. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing rest of your day.